Okay, we're live.
Yay, live on Facebook and on YouTube. Good morning.
Happy days. I already felt also before when I was on my way that there was a lot of energy that wanted to come through today, as always, when we come together, Tim.
Yes, yeah. Especially after that moon yesterday. It was very, very moony, wasn't it? The full moon in Cancer. Yes, I went out
Whoa.
for the walk this morning and it was just setting
Yeah.
and I could still feel the burn sort of thing coming in. It was very, very intense. It was gorgeous, actually.
And it really like it's interesting when that kind of energy comes, it's like it doesn't allow you to connect
Mm,
outwardly.
no,
It's
you've
just
got to
like
go
it's
in.
impossible to connect outwardly with anyone. It's just
Yeah.
like go inward.
Go inward and sort that stuff out, sort of see what's coming to the surface.
And today we are kind of wanting to present a little bit about both what is happening energetically, right? But also why we have been called to do this 6-month journey that we are very
Mm,
excited to do. So, and it's as always, as I say, it's just so beautiful how everything is divinely orchestrated. Like we get the information, they tell us like, okay, do this. And then much later on, the teaching starts to come through. And then we start to understand exactly why they told us to do this at this exact time
yeah,
on Earth.
yeah. It's an incredible it's an incredible set of energy circumstances going on at the moment. And the what you were just saying there, Mia, it's like although we've got like the astrological dates in the calendar, we've got like the energy windows that we know are coming up. We're still kind of working what we say in England, like hand to mouth with the information and the energy. So we're creating within this pool of very high frequency energy, which is on one side, it's forcing us to do so much purging and releasing. And on the other side, we're moving forward very, very quickly. Like we're having a conversation before we started about what we were expecting for January and what we were expecting for the first part of the year. And for me personally, I've been told for like the energy would be very intense. We'd be very kind of like, we'd be subjected to a lot of this stuff going on around us. And we are, but I feel that our attitude and our timelines have shifted considerably so that we're all in a different space while we're approaching this. We're starting to actually tune into some really, really positive, really good stuff that's going on around us, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's exactly as you say, like it feels like we haven't fully understand on a physical level that we are in a higher timeline.
Yeah,
So when
exactly.
all these things are happening, the purging and that we're kind of very used to, the shadow work coming and going, it's like we haven't understood that we actually went into that higher timeline that we so committedly
Yeah.
went into during the intense December.
Mm.
So we are on that, and it takes a while for us to understand that. So it's and that is almost like our physical body and the physical reality don't really it's trying to rewire and get it
Yeah.
because like it feels like emotionally and mentally, because we've done so much work emotionally, mentally, and spiritually,
Mm.
we are there. We get the concept, but then it's like how to bring it down and
That,
understand that we actually are embodying it out now.
Oh, totally. It's I've said this for years now that on a spiritual level, our spiritual fields can encompass and embody anything. That's our fabric. That's our primary design. We are designed to be in tune with the highest frequency energies of the universe. That's what we're made of. Sparkly soul stuff, but it's the physical vessel that is having to adapt. And it's the physical vessel that has reincarnated many times and carries these burdens, the burdens of the third dimensional matrix that we've like dragging the sack of rocks behind us. And as we walked through I mean, the last time we did a live was December 2021, and I've marked December 2021 in my diary as something that will. It's at the top of my list of spiritual experiences that I probably would actually rather not go through again energetically and on that level, because it was so tough, it was so intense. And it was like I said to you before, it was almost like having the master removed from you and everything just completely raw, and experiencing all of the releasing, all of the baggage kind of going back to like being alchemized back to source, but whilst being consciously very aware of it and having to carry on doing what you're doing at the same time. And that's manifested for a lot of people in so many different ways, such as the physical illness, the wishing to withdraw from society, the kind of almost like the bit of what we call a strategic spiritual breakdown. And that happened. And when we stepped through the solstice gateway into January, the energy was so pure and clear, it became very evident to me why we went through that, why we stand. And like you say, it's a higher timeline. That's what we're now experiencing.
Yeah, and that that bag of rocks that you talked about carrying, we haven't fully understand that we don't need. We can really leave that baggage now.
Yeah,
It's okay. The contracts, so many contracts are being ended this year.
they are. They
Some
are.
have already ended last year, but we haven't understood it.
No.
So, but many are ending now. And also there, as you said, like we're carrying from so many lifetimes, so much trauma in our physical body. In my latest sessions, I've seen so much torture, like so much torture in the physical body. Those timelines of complete torture in your physical body is now blossoming up, and of course you're gonna feel that. You haven't. It's like we haven't been prepared or ready before to actually access those timelines of deep torture, like physical torture. And that with that comes so much to the emotional and mental level of not understanding that we have so many traumas in endings, how to end a work, how to end a relationship, how to end, something that is completed. It's like the trauma that we're bringing from so many lifetimes of really traumatic, sad, painful endings is also coming with us now when we're moving into 2022, that is year 6 of rebirth. So that's the integration I really see, or my teams are presenting. It's so interesting to see. And of course, that's going to be challenging, but also amazing. That's where we're going to move up to the 5th dimension.
Absolutely. Just reminded me, last year was a year 5, wasn't that?
Yes.
It was a 5-year. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
now I understand.
I'm a life path 5, so I was warned at the beginning of last year that 2021 would kind of correlate with a lot of fast movement, a lot of pushing forwards, a lot of progress. But that progress, like you're saying, the bag of rocks, it's like sometimes, in principality, it's like, yeah, leave it behind. But do we know how to let go of the bag of rocks?
Exactly.
That's what I've seen so many times. Is actually like, yeah, we know we've got to let go of it. We know we've got to ditch the drama. We've got to ditch the cords and
Responsibility.
attachments. Yeah, the false responsibilities, the
Yeah.
responsibilities that were placed upon us by society that we actually don't need to honor. But how do we let go of them? How do we let go of them? And because inevitably, when you let go of some things, there's chaos.
Yeah.
There's a period of chaos that occurs.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
not, because
A lot of the time.
yeah, because it's like again, like it's we haven't really understood how much we have elevated, how much higher our consciousness level is. And of course, this is the human experience. We are we are taking the old experiences with us,
Yeah.
and they are creating our reality,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And that's the program that we need to let go of, because that's an
Perfect.
illusion.
Yeah.
If we can remember how freaking fast we are moving forward now, it's almost scary how fast it goes. I mean, I cannot keep up about my own fast track. How can people around me keep up?
Mm.
What was truth for me last week, I hear myself sharing what was truth last week that I got, and it's not truth for me next week sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's another very important point. There's a lot of the information that we came to rely upon in the third dimension was set. It was prefixed, and that energy kind of run with it. It was, so you could go back to something that was written in, say, in the 1980s or the 1990s or the year 2000, and that would have still been applicable right up to the cosmic moment, the 21st of December 2012. But once we passed through that gateway, I rapidly realized that everything that we were bringing through and everything we were creating, like 6 months to a year down the line, that will have evolved, that will have changed. So this is exactly what you've just described, but it's speeding up. The whole process is speeding up the more that we move into this halfway period. This is the halfway year, halfway between 2012 and 2032. If we were going to stick to that, those dates, that parameter, but like we've both agreed before, I think it's going to be happening a little bit before that, isn't it?
Yeah, I do believe, and what they say, that it goes faster. We are ahead of the schedule.
Yeah, we are ahead of the schedule, and we should all be very happy with ourselves about that as well. Although it has been a grind, and a lot of people are taking this on as a grind. I think one thing that I'd really like to kind of express this morning, especially while I was kind of like out on my morning walk, I was given a couple of words. I think, don't know whether they were specifically for me or something that's given for me. It's usually for me to
give out,
to give the information, is unleash the inner vagabond. Okay, that more carefree version of yourself, which correlates to the kind of the releasing of the false timelines of responsibilities that we believe that we have. So the inner vagabond is carefree; it goes where it wants. It within the laws of reality, does as it pleases, providing there is obviously no negative karma attached to those actions. I believe it's an aspect of sovereignty. It's that inner freedom, releasing yourself from the shackles and the chains of the things that bind you down.
And I see the vagabond kind of staying where he or she is needed.
Absolutely.
And that's like when we have that openness and freedom, that's where we want to go, where nothing is holding us into to responsibilities, to plans, to all of those things. Then we can be that open. Of course, we haven't reached there yet. No. There's still things that makes us need to plan times, go to school, the children, and all of those things. Still the financial system and everything, but it's still where we're heading. So I like that picture they gave you, really. Yeah. And again, on a physical level, there's so much happening in our light body, and that's where this year is also going to be so important for us to level up our energy management more than ever. It's that self-mastery. And that's probably why we were called to do this work also, because as we first saw it, as it first was presented, now it feels like it's going to be like a priest and priestess school of like high technology of ascension. And I mean, if we think about our light body, we want to access all the information. As I see the light body, the light body holds all the information that we ever need about our highest potential. And in our light body, we have the tree of life, our personal tree of life, and that's our own personal grid. So whatever we need to do to access that's what we're going to need to do this year, because otherwise we can think and feel and visualize about our mission. But the access is here. It's
Yeah.
here in our energy field. So everything that holds us into negative energy, and they're so easy to be in light negative energies because we've been kind of through all of our lifetime struggling. Like, oh, a little bit negative energy doesn't matter.
Mm.
Yes, it does matter. So clear it, setting boundaries,
Yeah.
declaring what you want, what you need, and really access all that information that is amazing. A light body holds everything from the Akashic record also that you need.
Absolutely. Very interesting about what you're saying about the light body there. That this is why our physical bodies are being so pushed, because they are now being required to become aligned with the information that is contained within the light body. Once we've made that agreement that, right, I am going to ascend, I am on the ascension pathway, I am aligning myself to the spiritual mission, that light body suddenly becomes highly accessible. And the more we raise our vibration here in physical consciously, the more we can reach up and access it, the pockets, the eye clouds of information that become available like on branches of a tree. And as well as the Akashic records, a lot of people are now consciously or unconsciously moving into the halls of Amenti, which is the library that was created by every soul who's had a conscious existence in the universe since the beginning of time, has stored their findings and their information. So the light body can also be kind of also akin to your own personal room within the halls of Amenti, where you go and you get what you have put away for yourself over your past lifetimes, whether it's a physical one here on Earth, or whether it's another one that you might have had in the Pleiades, or say in Sirius, or wherever you have been on your cosmic journey so many, many times. You will have taken what you needed or what you found of interest, placed it within there. And a lot of that stuff has been aligned as I've kind of regarded them almost as gifts. I'm going in to get my gifts from the halls of Amenti, gifts that I've left myself. And you go in there and you retrieve them, and they become part of the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body that we are presenting in the field of our current existence. Every time you do that, everything goes up a significant notch. So it's very, very similar.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I saw this like from the heart, the golden energy of God's source webbing out from the heart all the way out to the library of the halls of Amentins.
Yeah.
Like really, that's what's happening when we can access our full light body. Then that golden webbing can go from the heart and out there and access it. So it's like a plug-in. So
It
that
is
was.
like a plug-in. It's like that magical, it's that light worker dongle, isn't it, that suddenly gives you all of that information. So it's
And I mean, so many times I've been asked to declare in the webinars, I think it even has been when you and me have done, that we were asked to like, I command to retrieve my full spiritual memory.
yeah.
That's nothing that you just say.
No.
I can tell that because it's not always it's very intense sometimes to get all the
It
information.
is.
And it's easy to say like, I just want to remember more. I just want to remember more. And I just say to everyone listening, be careful with
Yeah.
what you say.
It's
Like, and we don't get more than we are ready for really
no,
in the
it's
same way.
exactly what I was about to say. It's like we are given what we are given very carefully what
Yeah.
what we need on a need to grow basis. So if it's going to be too much and it's going to knock us backwards, then that's not applicable. So many times I've been asked over the last 10 years to assist people with remembering their past lives. And some people do and some people don't. And this
Exactly.
is, like, especially when I've been working with Atlantis, it's like, well, why can't I remember my Atlantean lifetimes? Why can't I remember the things that you can? And I can remember flashes of it. I can remember bits and pieces that I've retrieved. And from that retrieval has grown what I needed to work with. So I was given something. Doesn't matter about the particular date all the timeline, all the correlation in which order it came in. It was appropriate for that moment of my growth and the service work that I'm doing. So that will be what occurs with everybody else out there who's doing the same thing. You will be given what you need at the time, depending on your level of frequency, your access, and your vibration, which is very, very important at the moment.
Exactly, because if we have a lot of wounds left, if we have a lot of like attachment issues, you don't want to know everything about the people around you and all the relationships and lifetimes you've had. Trust me, it's a super intense like experience, but beautiful once you get ready for it also. So
Yeah.
so again, so and also like this journey, like we call the Facebook group Unity. Can you help me? Unity Consciousness Group or something?
Yeah,
No,
it's
Unity.
a light unity consciousness group, I
Yeah.
believe.
One Unity Generation. That's
Yeah,
the name.
because we came
One
up with
unity.
several names, didn't we?
Exactly.
So, but
One Unity Generation. And all of this, like the whole work for 2022 and to continue is, I mean, the union, consciousness unity. That means your union with yourself.
yeah.
I mean, and your union with your God source
Mm-hmm.
power. And then it becomes the union in each and every single relationship you have, because that's also what we really want to assist with here. Because in the workshops, we're not only going to do activations, you're going to go into breakout rooms and you're going to be able to share your experience in groups with those that are committed to the 6-month journey. And we have this closed Facebook group, because doing this journey with us in 6 months is it's gonna be a life changer. Like don't blame us if everything changes.
Yeah,
And it's nice and important to have people around you that are doing the same experience, and I really feel that is what is missing right now on earth.
it is. And another important point is that while you are learning, we're learning too. We're learning
Yes.
the whole time. It's not like this particular the subjects and the format, like you yourself, Mia, and myself, we've taught this in other lifetimes, but now we are reclaiming it and representing it at the frequency for which is appropriate at this time. So it's relearning what we already know, and that's the same for everybody out there at the moment. We're remembering who we are, what we do best, the things that we are gifted with, and also aligning ourselves to this particular mission, which is incredibly important at the moment.
And as you said that, they told me like the 6 months is like 6 lifetimes. That's the progress that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not 6 months. It's 6 lifetimes.
That's how quickly
fast.
we're moving.
Exactly. And it's also like always no matter what kind of work, if maybe you're listening to this and you're committing to another course or whatever you feel guided to this year, it's also that commitment that is being asked right now. Yeah, as you said, Tim, like I know both you and me have been asked massively this year. I thought I was already committed, but they asked us to upgrade our commitment, where it was like, are you really ready to follow guidance 100% once it's anchored? And we're like, yes. And with that commitment, a lot happens. But that's what we're being asked for, and that's the responsibility, kind of the only responsibility you need to take right now, and all of us need to take right now, to say yes, to follow the highest guidance that we have worked so hard to receive. And once that's received, to say, yes, I am going to follow me, and please assist me to get that strength and clarity to dare to follow that, no matter what.
So important at the moment. It's like whatever you are guided to do at this moment, if you're listening in, not necessarily, it might not necessarily be what Mia and I are doing, but what you are being drawn to do by I think it's described to me years ago as the chime of the heart. Your heart will chime with whatever is appropriate for you. And that's with this absolute sea of information that is out there at the moment, be it 3D media, be it the more spiritual aspect of the information that's coming in. It's the information that's coming in from the cosmos, the guides, the angels. At the end of the day, it has to pass through the gateway of your heart before you are absolutely 100% certain that something is for you. And that for 2022 is the litmus test for everybody on the spiritual pathway as to whether something resonates or not. Is we learn to use, first and foremost, the most powerful tool that we have in our spiritual arsenal to actually bring us forward into the guidance that we need the most.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, like, you're not, even if you know, maybe you see that, okay, this change is gonna come, but you don't know exactly when. Whatever that is, it's also the work is that's going to be not only working with your energy field, because then you can get that clarity. So of course it's working with your grounding, clearing, all these things that we're going to give teaching since during these 6 months, but it's also really trusting, as you are very clear that, okay, I see, I hear, this is like a change coming to me. So now I'm opening up to receive. So every little thing that is happening for me, even if it's challenging, whatever that is. Whoops, what was that?
No, I wondered if that was me first of all. Is that me or was it you?
No,
Not me.
interesting. Not me either.
It sounded like
So
an timer.
exactly, I even lost where I was. Like just fully trust that every single episode that is gonna be given to you, as long as you're very like anchored every day in like follow guidance, take me where I need to go to reach the highest timeline, to do the mission, to be the puzzle piece I came here to be. You're gonna get also all the episodes that you need. So it's also not, you don't need to push and force.
No, that's again very important point. Resistance, pushing, forcing. That's going to be very much something that we remember from our past experiences as to what, why most of the time we made our own lives so very difficult. Yeah. It's as we flowed through the solstice gateway in December, the 21st of December 2021, I was showed that we were following a current of energy, like a flow, like a golden river. And the only way to align correctly is to allow that current to take us where it is supposed to be taking us. So exactly. It's about releasing all of the and this works on many different levels. A lot of us are expecting the hammer to drop us on us at the moment. We're expecting, like, you might wake up and you might be feeling good. You might be receiving positive news. You might be receiving positive information, even in the world around us. And we've had such an intensive 2 years. We've got to be very careful that we're not allowing our programming to kind of ruin our enjoyment of what is actually occurring. Even if it might not be particularly enjoyable around us at the moment, we're starting to learn to adapt, to hold and adopt that higher energy and bring that higher timeline to us wherever we are, which is the key to moving forwards at the moment. Because the world is a very tumultuous place. It's still doing that 4D transition, that changeover where we've got 3D and 5D, which are parting company before our very eyes, and the chaos in between. The transitional dimensional spaces are always meant to be chaotic. So if you go from 5 to 7, by then we're going to be non-physical. That transitional point 6 it's creationary chaos, the same as 4D is at the moment. So we've got this all going on, but it's about finding that peace within the storm and actually bringing that peace to you, because everything else around you will form and reflect that vibration when you do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So much is coming through as you're talking. I'm like, I will not remember everything. Stop talking. But also coming together, what I'm seeing is also this, it's time for us to gather with our soul family, and because that's a lot of that work that I'm doing in my courses, but then we're just 30 people. Now we're going to be hundreds. So the power, not only of the commitment, but we're going to like reactivate each other with whatever is being shared in that closed Facebook group, but also when you come into into the breakout rooms. Let's say you're going into the breakout room after our activation, and you share your experience, and you're four people. The four of you are going to activate each other. It's going to be divinely exactly who you need to be there. I've seen this work so many times. It's just incredible. You're gonna, if you need a trigger, you're gonna get triggered by one of those four. If you're gonna need like an activation in that way, you're gonna get that, or a deep healing because of a sharing that you didn't understand is occurring in yourself. So this is also, as we've been so much doing all that work that you just talked about, but it's also now to remember that that union cannot happen, and the new earth cannot happen until we're starting to transmit all of that work also into each other, because we don't feel really fully safe yet to interact, and that's a big change. So let's say if we have 800 in our work, those 800 will assist thousands and thousands of people. And what I've already seen that many that are going to do the work with us, they already hold like systems. That was shown
Mm.
in one of my in one of my sessions yesterday. I haven't shared that with you, Tim, but that woman that came in, she was like really challenged right now, but she hold a whole system of the new education that came through, that
Ooh.
it was amazing. And
Wow.
it was like
Okay.
when that was cleared, she could really remember it.
Perfect.
So we're holding so many systems. So the changes and the endings we're talking about is also for many that have young children that are awakened now. And you just know, I will not be able to put my child into a regular school. And it's just like they're 4 years old, soon you're gonna need to put them in there. And now it's gonna be the time for you to make the change and dare to end the generation of giving your children away. So yeah, it's on so many levels, and we have themes planned, but as always, I can just imagine how much that's gonna change.
It's just going to evolve month to month, isn't it? It's like you can set a guideline, you can set a framework of energy, but the actual kind of core of what we're going to be doing is not going to present itself until we're a little bit kind of closer to the mark, really, like a lot closer.
Exactly, and kind of like each and every month, and both of us, I mean, we have this very strong timelines in Atlantis together, so it's a lot of like the priestess and priestesses coming together to gather your teachings, your gifts, reconnect, reactivate each other, remember by being together, all of that. So and you will know, if you're listening, you will know if this is for you or not. And also something that came through when I was out training this morning, it was like, if you are in a relationship, it's beautiful also, maybe if you feel guided to, that both of you are committing to do the work. So then you can be in different sharing rooms, of course, so you're doing your individual journey, but you can share it together. Or maybe you have a friend that you're very close to and you are on this ascension path together. It's like really something very beneficial. And maybe you have an older child, that also you are in an ascension with. So it's a really beautiful journey to do together. You're doing it individually, but you have so much to share in the same way.
It's quite important actually, because there's the theme that I've noticed over the last decade or so is that we do tend to be very isolated as light workers, don't we? We tend to be part of a unit, friendship circle, marriage, job space, and we're the only ones, and we feel very alone. And what I'm seeing a lot of at the moment, and we're going to see an incredible wave of it occurring around us at the moment, is the fact that the people around us are no longer going to need to be the ones that we need to hide from anymore. Obviously, there's going to be individuals that are stuck in that energy that they're holding, but there's also going to be a vast quantity. What I'm trying to say is that we're going to be far more comfortable being ourselves,
Yeah.
in our relationships, in our working lives, in family setups and circumstances where before we had to hide this, or we felt like we had to hide it for simply because we get ostracized the minute we do. And part of the anchoring of our spiritual, our sovereignty, our master selves, is to actually bring what we are here into our everyday lives and actually own that stuff. And that means, like, you know, and there's an interesting point that you made there, Mira, about, like, you know, if you partnerships, friendships, everybody's welcome kind of thing, it would be very, very beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And you, it doesn't matter really where you are on your ascension path. Like it's gonna assist you wherever
Mm.
you are in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, authenticity is everything because we know we are the way showers. We have contracted to be the way showers, and we don't need to do so much if we can be authentic.
No, no, it's not such hard work, is that?
Yeah, but the hard work is to be authentic, to
Yeah,
come to that
yeah.
space.
It's a
But
bit,
then it's not so hard.
it's a big closet to come out of. And it's,
Yeah,
again,
like a
something that,
closet.
you know, like I've got to come out of the closet. I've got to tell everybody that I'm spiritual, sort of thing. Like, help, you know, what do I do? They're all going to think I'm
Until
mad.
anyone finds you on Facebook, then you're caught,
Yeah,
Tim.
then you're screwed, aren't you? Basically, it's
Like, oh my God.
yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, that's what he does, sort of thing. You know?
I've noticed sometimes when I'm writing to the teachers before I was taking away the last part where they find my webpage and Facebook and Instagram, but I actually stopped with that now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, this is what I do, deal with it, sort of thing.
Exactly.
I don't think that this is such a thing anymore, because it used to be that we'd feel safe in our little
Mm,
spiritual buddy huddle on a weekend.
yeah.
And that's when we'd feel the most joy. That's when we'd express the most joy. That's when we'd actually feel like we were at home. But on Monday morning, when that workshop's finished, all that gathering has finished, all that online union has finished, and we've got to go back to our kind of the humdrum banality of our everyday life kind of thing. You bring you crashing back down to that vibration that you've got to fight your way back out of again. I believe those days are over.
Yeah,
Genuinely
exactly.
believe those days are over now. We're not going to see any more of that, because we have the opportunity to bring what we are into our everyday reality. And I think that's actually going to be a big theme for this year.
Yeah, I mean, once we are in the unity consciousness, once we really anchor and operate from that template,
Yeah.
we will be in feel union with everyone.
Mm, absolutely.
And that's where we want to come. It's not, we don't always feel union with everyone yet, but that's the journey.
Yeah.
So and also, yeah, the practice. And of course, as well as that happens, we also just need to like, okay, but this is my soul tribe. This is who I do want to spend time and interact with, because that's
Yeah.
really what raises my vibrations. So in that same way. So um how it works is that you can sign up for it already now, and then you are entering the Facebook group, but the actual interaction is not starting until the 1st of March. And the actual work doesn't start until the midst of March, where we are going to have like a live, the first monthly live. So we're going to have a live each month in the Facebook group where we are answering questions and answers.
Yeah. That'd be great. Looking forward.
Yeah, and exactly. And that's also so nice because then it, you give us lessons also.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming with all those questions and like, wow, I haven't thought about that.
No,
Good question, how am I doing like here? I need to check with my teams. So it's
yeah.
it's
Like,
really beautiful.
guys. Yeah.
Exactly. And then in the end of each month, we're doing the webinar that is going to be 2 hours. So like an activation or healing, whatever that wants to come through. We also give like a teaching, and then you go out to breakout rooms. And then in between, you have the closed, safe Facebook group where we also, of course, going to hold protection and clearing of that energy field. So we are holding that space clear, and that creates a lot of different energy in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And of course, each and every post is going to need to be like okay by the teams that work for us. So yeah, and there will be chances for you to interact. So if you want to get to know more people and all of that, that's like up to you and how much you want to interact in the group. Maybe you don't want to interact in the Facebook group, and maybe you just want to have the lives with me and team and do the actual activations. Maybe you don't want in the beginning even to stay for the interaction. That's also okay.
Yeah. absolutely fine. Whatever's resonating at that
Yeah.
time will be completely good with us.
Yes. So we're super excited. So anything else that I might have forgotten, team?
I don't think so. I think we've touched upon pretty much everything that's going on energetically at the moment. Maybe just a little bit about the physical upgrades that are still occurring because
Yes.
of the light that is coming in. It seems to be very fashionable at the moment for us to become like, suddenly take on like this physical illness and become and have to step out and upgrade basically. When I went through my delightful upgrade last August, I had to actually I documented it all, but it was really quite an experience, and I had to step back. It forced me to step back. So if you're experiencing that at the moment, there's several different ways. There's the way that 3D society looks at it, where, oh no, you've caught something, it's terrible, and everything else like that. But then there's also, when you look at it from a higher perspective, the miracle of the human body, and what the body is doing is detoxifying physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energies that do not resonate with your vessel, getting you into a position where you can hold more light. You can use this new circuit board that you've been programmed with and all of the new wiring and everything like that, and just allow yourself time to heal, step out, recover, love yourself, recuperate, and do all of the things that I didn't used to do until I got clobbered.
Exactly. Getting lost in the woods. That's what's
Being
happening with
lost in the
Tim
woods
every
is
now and
cool.
then.
I can dig that.
But actually, nature and health, it's also big topics. We both receive that individually, like health, boom, 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 alarm. That's what's coming
Yeah,
through a lot for me, like health, 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 health. We can't push like before. We can't push like before. It's not gonna be okay. So as much as we are committing, it's not from that pushy level. It's
yeah,
commitment on a completely different energetic level. And with that commitment is your health. Understanding
absolutely.
that this physical body vessel, you can't take it for granted, even if we have so many other cosmic lifetimes
Yeah,
where we didn't need to sleep, we
yeah,
didn't need to train. I miss
yeah.
those. But anyway, we're not
Yeah, I
there.
miss them too. They were wonderful, weren't they?
So, yeah, so we really hope that, yeah, if you feel guided and resonate, some people have been asking about doing payment plans. Unfortunately, that becomes a lot of work because we want to reach out and we trying to keep it as low as possible. But what you can do is that you can save money and then you come in by the end of March. You can also jump into it like in April and receive everything that we've done. So I think if this really resonates with you, put the intention and you will notice that you will manage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in that way also. Okay, beloved ones, if you have any questions, you can always put that down. I will try to answer it. Tim doesn't have time, but I will try to do it. Or my team, or my team.
Oh, bless you.
So thank you so much, Tim. I'm really so
Thank you,
much
Mia.
came through now, and the
It,
whole grid.
always, it's always fun. Always fun.
Yes, so see you everyone. And the last thing I think is that we have decided very quickly that we're going to do a live only for men.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah. So of course, women, you are very welcome to listen to it, but it's going to be in the subject about men, the masculine body, the masculine embodiment, and also the divine masculine. So yeah, we'll see when that happens, but
Yeah,
pretty soon.
come on, fellas.
Exactly. And women, please share it with your man.
Absolutely.
Okay, lots of love to
Lots of
you
love.
and lots of love to everyone here. Thank you for holding space for us.
And
Mwah.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.